This is one of the first smartphones with a 1-inch camera sensor, and it promises to beat your iPhones and Galaxies, but can it actually do it? Hey guys, my name is Vic with PhoneArena, and this is the Xiaomi 13 Pro, the company's 2023 flagship phone. And all the buzz is around the new camera sensor, but it is also equipped with a powerful ultra-wide camera and a 3x zoom camera that has one trick we have never seen before on a smartphone. So is this the ultimate camera phone of 2023? Let's find out in our PhoneArena camera comparison. So on the official page, Xiaomi really wants you to know that this phone has not just any camera, it has Leica cameras. It's a Leica lens with Leica colors and Leica quality. Leica. Even when first opening the camera app, the phone will ask you to choose between Leica Vibrant and Leica Authentic modes. And this one choice will determine the look of your photos further on. The Vibrant one is closer to your typical smartphone look, with warmer colors, a bit of extra sharpening, the usual styling. While the Leica Authentic has less artificial over sharpening, so technically detail on it looks better. Colors are also less yellowy and a bit more film-like. Here's a close-up so you can see the over sharpening going on here with the Vibrant mode. The Authentic one is better, but unfortunately Authentic mode photos also have a very noticeable vignetting, which is super annoying. It might be a cool effect for a couple of photos, but it's definitely not something I want to see on all of my photos. And there is no way of disabling it, which is an absolute bummer. So my guess is most people will actually be forced to use the Leica Vibrant mode instead, which is just too bad. These two modes are a great idea, just let us customize the looks at least a bit Xiaomi so we can actually use these styles. Anyway, all photos in this comparison are captured with the Leica Vibrant mode, and here's how they look compared to the iPhone 14 Pro and the Galaxy S22 Ultra. So the Xiaomi does a good job. The iPhone and the Galaxy sometimes go overboard with exposures that are just too bright, while the Xiaomi doesn't do that, and it also tends to have deeper shadows for a slightly more contrasty look. And yes, colors on the Xiaomi are indeed very saturated, often even a bit more than the Galaxy, which is known for being quite extreme when it comes to vivid colors. But we do like the photos, and the Xiaomi definitely keeps up with the other two during the day. Look a bit closer at the detail and you see that the Xiaomi strikes a happy medium. It avoids the terrible over sharpening on the iPhone and is not as soft as the Galaxy. This second image also confirms that, so good job. Portrait mode also gives you the choice between a vibrant and an authentic look for photos, and it defaults to a 3.2x zoom lens, which makes a lot of sense for portraits. You do have other artistic portrait options though. If you press the shutter icon, you get a 35mm black and white portrait mode, a 50mm simulation with swirly bokeh, a 75mm portrait effect, and a 90mm soft focus one. Now I like these, but I find them just a bit too pretentious. A 35mm portrait would be nice, but I don't necessarily want to be restricted to black and white shooting all the time. And the 90mm soft focus one is just way too soft for most shots, so something a bit more practical would have been better. Now I stuck mostly with the default portrait style, but the quality is actually remarkably good. In this first picture, all the phones did well with the cutout, but the Galaxy is too warm, so it's a tie between the Xiaomi and the iPhone. In the second photo, the Xiaomi shot the most natural looking photo. Look closer and you see it has more detail than the Galaxy, and compared to the iPhone 14 Pro Max, you can see the iPhone clipped a part of my ear, and it's just super frustrating how Apple, who pioneered portrait mode, still cannot quite get it right, and both the Xiaomi and the Galaxy seem to do a better job with portraits. But what about those night shots? First, check out these beautiful creamy bokeh bows on the Xiaomi. Its larger sensor allows for this creamier background, and for pictures like this one, you don't even need to use portrait mode. You get a very pleasing natural bokeh. In low light, this sensor is incredible. It gets plenty of detail and clean, beautiful images. It can, however, occasionally go berserk with saturation, but then get some stunning shots. Just look at this cafe at night. The red neon sign is only visible on the Xiaomi, and it pulls a crazy amount of detail compared to the Galaxy and the iPhone. Now, one thing with this Xiaomi is that most photos we took at night can almost appear too bright though, as the iPhone, for example, keeps a more authentic nighttime look. And switching over to the ultra-wide camera, it's a very solid shooter with a wide perspective just like the iPhone and the Galaxy. You get pleasing colors that are just a bit more on the vibrant side, but detail is very well controlled. And just look at how fake the tree branches look on the iPhone. The photo from the Xiaomi has much nicer detail, and despite that weird noise at the top of the photo, it looks great and we prefer it. And at night, the ultra-wide camera again captures a ton more light than the Galaxy and the iPhone, and I cannot even see the cables over the street on the iPhone picture, while you can perfectly see them on the Xiaomi, which is a win in our book. So you also get a 3-point Timex zoom lens that is honestly about as good as the iPhone or the Galaxy. Here are a few shots with it. It preserves a good amount of detail even at 3x and then at 5x zoom levels, and we don't find a substantial difference in quality. But switch to 10x zoom and the native lens on the Galaxy makes the difference with cleaner detail. In the second shot, the Xiaomi is a bit darker than the other two at 3x, then at 5x our preference goes to the Xiaomi, but at 10x the Galaxy takes over. And finally, here is one more shot of this ship. At 3x zoom, it's hard to look at the detail when you have such wild colors, so we actually prefer the image from the iPhone here, just because it looks normal. At 5x, the Xiaomi gets the colors wrong again with this super inky blue, and finally at 10x, the Galaxy takes the lead thanks to that great periscope camera. Zoom video, however, is a disappointment on the Xiaomi. It just cannot get the exposure right at 3x, and we have the same problem at 5x zoom. It's just bad. And finally going to 10x zoom, you have a decent amount of detail, but it's really the Galaxy that wins this zoom round quite easily. But just looking at zoom like that means completely missing what I think is the best feature of the Xiaomi 13 Pro. And this is its ability to shoot incredible macros. Unlike the iPhone and the Galaxy, which use the ultra-wide camera for macros, the Xiaomi uses the zoom camera. This means that you can really close in on your subject like you should with macro photos. Not only you get a great amount of detail, but you also get the right perspective, which you can never have with an ultra-wide camera. And this camera is an absolute game changer for macro photography. If you're someone who needs that feature, you might want to buy the Xiaomi 13 Pro just for this camera alone. Alright, next up, let's turn to the selfie camera, and things kind of fall apart with video again on the Xiaomi. So dynamic range is just not as good here as the other two. The sky is completely blown out. It does expose my face well, but it's not just about that. And you can see that as I start walking, the iPhone has the best dynamic range with the selfie camera. The Galaxy is second, and the Xiaomi is a distant third. And we kick off the selfie pictures round with this group shot. The Xiaomi blows out those highlights slightly again. The Galaxy has a pleasing photo, but we wish it could capture a slightly wider perspective, and the iPhone looks like the best picture in this case. Now, for selfies of just one person, the Xiaomi actually has the widest perspective, but that's about the only good thing about this selfie camera. Colors are kind of washed out and overexposed, and it's the Galaxy that sets the tone in these photos with plenty of detail and great colors, so it wins this round, followed closely by the iPhone. Now finally, video capture is one area where the iPhone dominates the space, and it only proves it again here with clean detail, consistent colors, and dynamic range that the other two phones just don't have. But the main camera of the Xiaomi actually does a quite decent job, so it's not too far behind in this test. And this is what nighttime video recording looks on the Xiaomi 13 Pro compared to the iPhone 14 Pro Max and the Galaxy S22 Ultra. So let's walk a bit around, explore the city. Check out the video quality, of course. This is our Christmas tree. Let's see how these phones adjust to the change in exposure from the bright lights to the shadowy areas. Now the iPhone still catches those flares, very prominent. You can see that the Galaxy here goes extra warm for that white balance, which is not quite the correct white balance here. Alright, and which phone you think does better in selfie video recording at night? Oh, this is what we're about to find out right now. We have the Xiaomi 13 Pro against the Galaxy S22 Ultra and the iPhone 14 Pro. Take a look at the tree behind me. It's the Christmas spirit, looking really good. And video stabilization for casual walks is equally good on all three phones, so no complaints here. Alright, video stabilization while moving faster. Let's test it out. Which phone does better? The Xiaomi 13 Pro, the iPhone 14 Pro Max, or Galaxy S22 Ultra? Alright, it's time to wrap things up. The Xiaomi 13 Pro and its 1-inch camera have impressed us, but they also kind of let us down. The phone can shoot stunning night photos, portraits also look great, and that macro capability on the telephoto camera gives you the best macro shots of any phone we have tested so far. But we also really wish there was a way to capture less saturated colors, as things can get extremely vivid, and they're just not a good look. And Xiaomi should also fix the issues with zoom video, and that selfie camera, well, that one is just not as good as the rest of the phone. So at the end of the day, is this the ultimate camera phone for 2023? Well, no, but it's a damn good shooter, and it shows that Xiaomi deserves to be in the conversation for the best camera phone of 2023. So this will do it for this comparison. Don't forget to subscribe to catch our new videos. I appreciate you watching. My name is Vic, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.